Hi, welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. We're going to kick off today with Arsenal's chief exec, Ivan Gazidis. He's been giving some interviews out in the press today ahead of him speaking to the Arsenal fans tonight at the AFTV meeting, and spoken a lot about Arsene Wenger, about the season, about his plans ahead. But for me, the interesting quote that I want to focus on is what he said about transfers. And basically, his quote was, "We can go and sign a world-class player if and when the manager identifies them." Now, I'm hoping now that if this is true, and we've heard this before, we kind of heard this last year, to be honest, that, you know, if we got the money, if we see players out there, we'll go and get them. They're out there this year. I mean, world-class players are out there. Maybe not in the striker department. There's not, like, you know, loads and loads of world-class strikers that are sort of available, but they're out there. And it's all right talking these things. I think the Arsenal fans really, really want to see action on it this year, because, you know, we know that last year, really, and even if you read his interviews in a lot of the media outlets, even he knows, and even when I spoke to him last week, he admitted to me that even though he finished second, it was a poor season. It was, you know, well, he didn't use the word poor, but he said he was disappointed, you know, because he felt that we could have won it as well. And I still put that down to the main reason why we didn't win it was because we didn't make a signing of any outfield players last summer. And I feel that is what cost Arsenal last season. And if we are going to take that step forward to move from second to first place, which is going to be even more harder this year, because remember the guys that are coming in, Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, etc., we really got to go out there and identify these world-class players. City have already moved. They bought Gundogan yesterday. We can't mess around in the transfer market this year. Interestingly, on Alvaro Morata, constantly mentioned, as I said, you know, before, about last week sometime, he's going to be the new sort of Benzema of this transfer window as far as Arsenal fans are concerned. But on Alvaro Morata, again, heavy links with Morata. Now, Morata himself has come out and he said that he wants Real Madrid to resolve his future as soon as possible. These are his quotes. He said, "I hope that my future can be resolved as quickly as possible, to know if I'm staying or if I'm going. Wherever they want me most, that's where I want to be." And, you know, that's a very sensible thing to say. Of course, the situation is this. He's a Juventus player at the moment. Real Madrid have a buyback clause. We're being told that Real Madrid are going to buy him back and then either keep him or sell him. But they're kind of not really coming out and saying what they're going to do now. Now, my worry on the whole thing is that Real Madrid might say to themselves, you know what? What's the rush? Let's wait until after the Euros. If Morata has a poor Euros, we can still sell him for good money because he's sought by many clubs. If Morata has a good Euros, and he's going to be spearheading that attack for Spain, remember, they haven't bought guys like Diego Costa, Fernando Flores. It is Morata's time up front there. Morata has a good Euros. You know, instead of asking 35 million, well, we could ask 50, 60 maybe. Something ridiculous. Or they may decide to keep him. Remember, he's a Madrid-born player. He has himself said that his preference would be to stay at Real Madrid, but he wants to become a starter. Now, the only way that's going to happen, if he blazed up the Euros, he just may get that starting position at Real Madrid. Or, as I said, they sell him for big money. So what's going to happen with Morata is going to be a saga that's unfortunately going to be one of those that's going to run a bit, is what is my feelings on it. Arsenal, I think, definitely want Morata. They know he's available, or there's a strong possibility that he's available. He's a young guy. He scored in massive games, and they think that they can develop him into being the next big thing, and they can give him the opportunity to start week in, week out. But it's going to be a saga that's going to run. I mean, another thing that was thrown into the mix with the Morata thing is that his girlfriend gave an interview to an Italian magazine, and she said that, you know what, Morata might even stay in Turin, which is where, you know, Turin, that's where Juventus is based, in Turin. So that thrown into the mix as well. You really don't know at this stage what's happening. But one thing's for sure, Arsenal are very, very interested in making Morata their real big money signing of the summer. So let's just keep it locked and see what happens with that. Hector Bellerin, who's been linked with a move away. There's been lots and lots of speculation linking him with a move to Barcelona, because Barcelona have now sold Dani Alves, who's on his way to Juventus, and Bellerin is seen as the excellent and suitable replacement. Well, interestingly, a statement from Barcelona sporting director Robert Fernandez, who came out and said, listen, we love Hector Bellerin, we think he's an outstanding player, but at the moment there's no plans to sign Bellerin. And of course, Arsenal, we're being told, would, you know, they don't want to sell Bellerin, and if they did, they'd want ridiculous amounts of money for him. My advice is to keep hold of Hector Bellerin. He's an outstanding player, and it looks like Arsenal will be keeping hold of him. So at least it doesn't look like we're going to get a Fabregas situation with Bellerin. Bellerin's happy in London, and again, another guy could have a real good Euros, and then his price would go even further up. But at the moment, Bellerin looking good for Arsenal. Still lots of rumours about Henrik Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan, we spoke extensively about yesterday and the day before. We're being told that he's reportedly seeking wages of £4.6 million a year. And that's one of the reasons why Dortmund are finding it really difficult to hold on to him. I mean, Dortmund are pretty angry with him, apparently, and are willing to possibly make him play out his last season, a bit like what they've done with Robert Lewandowski. But what's the point in doing that? You know, because, yeah, you keep the player there for a final year, but then he just walks away for nothing at the end, rather than if he is unhappy and they have to sell him, at least they make a little change off of him. And, yeah, you know, because at this stage they'll get 20-odd million for Henrik Mkhitaryan, possibly, if they sold him, because there's so many different clubs interested in him, including Arsenal. But Mkhitaryan definitely available. Will Arsenal take a chance? I think they could, because it's not every day these sort of players become available for that sort of price. And the wages wouldn't be a problem for Arsenal or any of the big clubs in the Premier League, as I said the other day. So Mkhitaryan could be on the move. Where is he going? Again, that's another one we're going to have to wait and see. And finally, David Ospina being linked again with moves away. The Besiktas sporting director came out and has made it quite clear that, yes, you know what, we want Ospina. He is our #1 target. We want to bring him to Besiktas, bring him to Turkey to play. My thoughts on it, you guys know. I think we should be trying to keep hold of this guy. Let's have a good backup keeper. Let's have a strong #2, but let's wait and see. Besiktas really, really want him badly. Comments today. Torsten Boykland, I hope I pronounced that right. He says, Robbie, I can't help but notice that you read several comments around mine, and some are similar to mine as well. Sad, but he goes, anyways, and anyway, I've read it now, right? He says, Arsenal should go out and buy Ricardo Rodriguez. He's world class and not too expensive. Lacazette would be a perfect fit for us. Again, I keep saying, we haven't heard a lot about links with Lacazette, and I think he'd be available this year, around about the 30 million mark. Worth a punt, maybe, I don't know. I watched the big leagues and he's really good. He reminds me of the king himself. He's fast, great at shooting and dribbling, can pass pretty decent, and isn't too bad physically. He can play on the wing as well, and he's not very old either. The only thing is that he might be hard to lure away from Lyon, mainly because he's their star player and because of their new stadium. Lovely stadium as well, by the way. And last couple here, Abdi Hassan says, we don't need Goetze because we've got Ozil, El Nene, Sanchez, Cazorla and Wilshere. Unless, of course, we send Ramsey, with that new hairstyle, he should be Lamsey. Unless we send Ramsey somewhere far, I'd say let's get a good centre-back and a great striker, someone as good as Lewandowski and Suarez, and we can win the cup. And finally, Cameron Bieber says, can we get a forward for my birthday, the 18th of June? We probably could, but it's what kind of forward we get. Thanks very much for the comments. Don't forget to tune in around about the same time tomorrow. Check out our video that we've done today where we've unboxed the brand new Arsenal kit. I know you've all seen it, but we sort of drill right down on it. So make sure you check out the brand new Arsenal kit unboxing. And don't forget, we'll be back around about the same time tomorrow. One thing that can be done that's going to make this shirt even better, and that's if I see names like Morata written on the back, Higuain. There'd be enough space on there for Aubameyang, wouldn't there?